Welcome to another episode of Velocity Chaos!
Welcome to another episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast. We are coming to you at the speed of sound at the Hexapod Sound House in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Nick, and I am joined by my illustrious co-host, Luke.
That is me. How you guys doing? I just want to say hey to Edward, DJ Edward, 40 hands over here.
Hey. Thanks for having me out this week, guys.
Oh, thanks for coming. Nick, what do we got today?
Well, it is the 40th episode of Velocity Chaos, so we're crossing another decade of episodes. This week, we're going to do a segment called Compliments. We're going to hand out a nice big compliment. We're going to revisit the pyramids to make sure that we close the case on that conspiracy theory. And we are going to talk about some party knowledge. Luke, I think you're going to equip our listeners with some fun facts.
Just a smidgen.
For the next celebration that they attend. So here at the Velocity Chaos podcast, we explore the highest heights of human knowledge and lowest depths of crude humor. Our mission is to tickle that pink thing between your ears, poke that frontal lobe, or sometimes just smash the laugh box. So hop in and buckle up for an infotainment ride across the airwaves.
Oh, you know that is right. And before we get into it, just a reminder to follow us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod and on Facebook as well. Also, drop us some stars on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever they're doing. Some of the Spotify love. Toss us a sub on YouTube. And thank you always for your support.
So, Luke, I am super excited to crack open this new segment. It's called Compliments.
Oh, that sounds friendly.
It is friendly. We are very friendly here at the VC podcast.
Really friendly.
We are so
under
friendly.
the table.
We are friendly to everyone under the table. This is a segment where essentially we're just going to take somebody from real life recently, last week or so, and somebody who might have made an impact on you, and we're going to give them a compliment, and then we're going to talk about the repercussions of what that person did. I
like it.
This is a fun way of just exploring how to make the world a better place and shouting out folks who deserve it. So I will do our maiden voyage here into compliments. I'm going to shout out a guy named Billy B. Billy was introduced to me by another mutual friend. They are in business together, and Billy was somebody who's willing to just hang out, talk on a Zoom, and share about his life. Billy's pretty accomplished. He's done a lot of things. He's been in different businesses like robotics, and he's built a restaurant. He said he had a surf shop. So he's just an entrepreneur.
He built, like, this man is a man of many talents. He built a restaurant.
I don't think it was with his own hands, but he went out and started a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
And so he's just worn many different hats and wealth of experience. And the coolest thing was, one, compliment and thankful that he was willing to spend time and just chat about his life and be encouraging. But also he imparted some world philosophy, some life lessons to live by. He said he's in the business of friendship.
Oh.
Though he's been an entrepreneur for many years, that's his number one business. And talking to him for about 2 hours, it was very apparent that he was really committed to this idea, and that he thinks that most success in life comes from building true relationships with other people. And for me, it was a really cool reminder to invest on the human level first, so that maybe the collaboration will happen next. It really clicked. You know, sometimes you hear a lesson or you see a meme on Instagram and you just scroll right past it.
Yeah.
But when somebody's telling you, this is how I lived my life and it's done all this good stuff for me, it kind of hits you right in the face. So I felt convicted, just to really make sure that every time I interact with somebody, it's trying to do it first on a human level. He told me this really cool story about a woman apparently he met at like a pretty big shindig. He lives in Texas, and there's a lot of high rollers there. And
Everything's big in Texas.
everything's
right?
big in Texas, including the egos apparently, because he walked up to somebody new and said, "My name's Billy. I know who you are, and I'd like to just introduce myself." And apparently the first words out of her mouth was, "I don't have any more time for any new friends." Exactly.
What?
And I give him a lot of credit because I think Billy is also really cool with himself, which I think is the first step you have to do to make good friends. And he goes, "Well, I feel very sorry for you." And I was just like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's not a burn. It's not like he's cutting her off at the knees. He's just like, "I feel sorry for you." And that goes right into his philosophy of just always making sure. And, another thing he said was, you never know when you're going to meet your best friend in life. And that really hit me, where a lot of people just think, "Oh, it's my high school buddy or my college buddy." Thankfully, we all met at that time and we're still friends.
He's saying we're replaceable, DJ Edward 40.
Yeah, that's
Just a matter of time.
Yeah.
This is just a small warning, hint.
Shots fired.
So, I thought those two things really resonated with me. And then just a couple other things. Being into friendship for no greater purpose than to be friends. That's kind of what I took away from that. And then the other thing was, he kind of reminded me how great it can be to show somebody signs of like physical respect. Like we talked about when you're sitting at a dinner table with some colleagues or friends and somebody knows somebody else and they come over, that if you stand up and kind of greet them with that physicality of standing up, getting up out of your chair, shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, instead of just sitting there and letting someone kind of awkwardly come over to you and feel like an imposer. So I really want to give Billy a compliment for living it and walking the walk, and sharing that with me. So that happened.
What he's saying is don't impose on other people eating.
Yeah, don't walk over to
Get
table.
very defensive over my food and just start growling at you. It's like a dog that's, that was out in the wild. No, he sounds like a nice guy. He figured things out. Like maybe if you ask him, or I don't know what your 2-hour conversation was, but I'm sure he's a good idea, and he sounds fulfilled in a way. Like he found out a key of life. Not all of them, but like
Sure.
The basis of life is the people around you. You can isolate yourself, and you could be happy that way, but the true beauty of life is probably in the connections that we make.
Yeah, I would say that's it. And I think what you were saying is cool about it's one of the keys. I've been looking at stuff like this as like pillars. There are certain character traits that are pillars to a good life. And I think treating everybody like a potential friend is kind of a really cool way of looking at that. Because you're never making assumptions. You're never assuming that somebody is not going to want to talk to you. Obviously, he went up to that woman and she kind of like rebuffed him. And again, like he didn't go, he wasn't harsh on her, but he told her what he really believed, which is anybody who feels like they don't have enough time for new friends is really just limiting their own ability to move on to other people.
Yeah, that's almost something like if you do say that to someone, like if I came up to you and you said and I was like, "Hey, I just want to introduce myself," and you were like, "I don't have time for friends," I'd be like, "Okay." Like,
yeah.
See you later. That's someone that I wouldn't want to be involved with, anyways.
Like, what is your assumption of friends? Like, what?
Yeah.
No, I need to sit down with you for 3 hours right now. Like,
Yeah.
you're that busy, not to say, "Oh, hello," like,
Yeah,
hi.
well, that gets down into the psychology of it, that you're looking at every friend as like a business transaction of like, I have to invest in this. I have to give something. Where Billy doesn't know me, and somebody's saying, "Hey, you should talk to my friend Nick," and he goes, "Yeah," and let's talk. And he pursued that conversation. It wasn't like I had to be, "Are you available?" And he was like, "Well, here's my availability." And I'm like, "What about now?" And he's like, "Oh, can we reschedule?" Like he was very much into connecting. And I think he just believes in the dividends of investing in other people. He's willing to give it. He's willing to give his time. And clearly has been rewarded for that. So yeah, I think that was something that really clicked for me, something that I'm going to try to do better in the upcoming weeks and months, of really investing in people first for who they are, rather than what I can either get out of them or out of the relationship.
Yeah, and that lady probably, she doesn't see friendship in that way. Like what he said is, being into friendship for no greater purpose than to be friends. So her idea of friendship, like you guys were saying, is, either it's business or all of her quote unquote friends want something from her, and she's getting torn, very thin.
Yeah.
And so that's probably how she sees friendship. She's not setting the right stage for that.
And we did get into that, like you said. We talked a long time, Billy and I, and we did talk a little bit about that, of how you do want to make sure that the other person is putting in something too, because if you are just getting stretched thin with people who are taking from you, and they're the people looking at it as a transaction, then you're going to start losing your time, and you're going to have to be taking care of people and that sort of thing. There's nothing wrong with giving, but it's a balance. You want to make sure that it's about community rather than what can I just get out of you. So he did talk about that there were some people in his life who, who crossed the line and just kind of had to say, listen, you're not really holding up your end of the bargain. And he gives them a chance to maybe, catch up to the friendship line.
Yeah.
But other people just kind of say, well, I'm not interested in that. And then you're like, okay, well then,
okay.
See
you later.
There's a fork in the road. Take it.
Yeah. Take it. There you go. Yogi Berra.
Yep. Yogi Berra.
In life though, sometimes, oh wait, we're not at that point.
Say, wow. Play the music.
No, there's an acronym for, you were saying like the pillars of life, and it stems from the word life. 1, L, love.
Nice.
I, investments. F, friendship. E, I'm making this up as I go.
Oh, wow. You have this.
And
entertainment.
Yeah, entertainment.
I like that. Life, what is it?
Thank you. That's the key to life, right?
Love,
investments,
friendship,
and entertainment.
I want to know if when he said that to you, he's like, I'm in the business of friendship, and you're like, oh, that's like a nice sentiment. It's like, no, seriously, here's my pamphlet. Like, you have the silver member plan, the gold member plan, the platinum member plan. My hourly rate is this.
Yeah.
To be your friend.
I did think about that. I think there was an episode, Wingman Park, right?
Wingman Park?
That we talked about. There's a park where you can like go take your date there, and then then beat up some people to make you look strong.
Yeah, but they like are in on it, and they know about it. It's a great grift. Yeah.
But no, I was thinking
Wingman Park.
Yeah, paying people to be your friends, basically, like, or people who are lonely, like, hey, just calling to have an ear to lend, or like you need to go to a family dinner or something. Okay, I'll come along, and it'll be awkward, but.
That's called an escort service.
Oh, is that what they do?
They made a good Kevin Hart movie. Was the Best Man?
Right. Yeah.
The Kevin Hart movie. He plays like a best man for hire for guys who have no real friends. It's a great movie.
It was pretty good.
But yeah, no, I think you got to be. It's The Wedding Ringer. That's what it was. It's a great film. Sounds like a good business plan. Maybe Billy's starting that. But
maybe
we could all be, freelancers in it.
You're just getting in on the ground level.
We're getting in on the ground level. It sounds more like a nonprofit to me, though. Like you just need people who are willing to be on the call, on the phone lines, and calling in and saying, "Hello, like I saw that you, wanted to talk about your dog."
Well, nonprofits are pretty lucrative.
They can be if you play it right.
Yeah, I mean, profits they end where the money stops going into your bank account. Like, all out of profits. I had to pay myself a little extra this year. I put in a lot of work.
All out of project. Friendship.com. Go check it out. Some people are really thirsty for friendship. And just thinking about, making friends, it makes me thirsty too. And you know what I like to get my lips around when I get thirsty? Drink. God, do I love drink. Drink is so incredibly delicious and refreshing. Just saying the name drink gets me salivating. I'm going to need a bib from all of the salivation just from talking about drink. Drink is there for me when I need it most. On those hot summer days, or those dry winter mornings, or even in the middle of the night when my throat is as parched as a camel in the desert. Drink is a thirst quencher to say the least, and is a mouth wetter to say the most. Drink comes in your mouth, gets everything appropriately moistened, and then washes down your gullet the way nature planned for us to get it down. So get your lips on a free 6-pack of drink with code BCPODWET at checkout. Drink the mouth wetter. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware, have no affiliation, and offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. Bam, Jack. All right, bro. I have been looking forward to this all week.
This is all I've been thinking about.
Yeah, it really has been. We are going back, ladies and gentlemen, to Egypt, the land of the Nile, to close out our conspiracy theory
Maybe.
segment from
Who knows?
This might be an ongoing program, but last episode 39, we talked about pyramids, got into pyramidology, which is the study of pyramids in kind of the more fantastical sense. But this week, we're going to pivot over and kind of close out some of these conspiracy theories. So we're going to go into Egyptology, which is a real field of study, which is based on science and go ahead.
As far as the Venn diagram goes, is it Egyptology, and then inside Egyptology is pyramidology, or is there like overlapping circle because there's pyramids everywhere else? Or is pyramidology just a focus of the Egyptian
pyramids? It is
pyramids?
funny. I mean, you see, most people are focused on the pyramids in Egypt when they talk about all this crazy stuff.
That's all, yeah.
So I think it's the Venn diagram of the big circle of Egyptology, and then there's like the little nut that just rolls around at the bottom of that, and that's pyramidology.
And occasionally it might roll out
yeah,
just a smidgen.
into like Latin American studies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I hate to burst your bubble. Okay, of last week, let's just do a quick recap. We talked about a lot of the conspiracy theories. We talked about the pyramids being built by slaves. We talked about them being superconductors. We talked about the Illuminati building them. We talked about aliens building them. Are there any that you're really hung up on that you like really, are into, you believe?
I mean, I think the use of man labor, whether it was slaves or not, I think that's plausible.
Yeah.
Could be aliens. I don't know. Could have been advanced technology for the time, or like I said, they could have just been really smart.
Perfect. You played into my trap. You're wrong. Except for the last part, they were really smart. So, this is interesting, okay? In 2013, this Egyptologist, so a real anthropologist, a real historian, named Pierre Tillet, he was digging around in Egypt, and he was actually pretty far away from the Great Pyramids. There wasn't really anything around. They found a network of caves up in the hills, and they went up there and started digging around and found a lot of artifacts. It was like a boat depot where they stored boats for the Egyptian Empire. And they actually found some incredibly preserved scrolls of papyrus in there. They're called papyri. I figured this out. Papyrus is the material. Papyri is the plural of like the scrolls.
Okay. So wait, this was a ship dock, or like not a dock, but like a. So does this hold some plausibility to the Noah's Ark theory?
Little boats supporting the bigger boat. Yeah. See, boom, we're back into it. My friend Aaron, the Scotsman, he would like you because he just spins it. He'll just spin right back into it. And it's part of, I think, the fun of being a pyramidologist, of just being like, but what if?
It could be anything. You have the whole world is your oyster to cultivate your pearls.
Plenty of sand out there. Yeah. So he found the papyri, and one of them was one series of it was a journal from a guy named Murrer, Merer, Murrer.
Gold, frankincense, and myrrh.
Yeah.
It's
Jesus.
It's a law firm.
Yeah, law firm.
Jesus, Christmas, Illuminati, done. Illuminati,
Damiano and Myrrh.
Murmur. This guy Murr must have been like one of the guys who was like consulting on the whole big project of building the pyramids. He wrote twice a day. So, and apparently he
they got nothing else to do back then.
Well, a lot of people did, but this guy was apparently put in a specific position to record everything. So he reported to Pharaoh Khufu was the guy that they were building the Great Pyramid of Giza for. So like the big one, the giant one, the one with the 2.3 million rocks in it. Stone.
Question.
Yeah.
How many sides does that pyramid have?
Pyramids have 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Four.
Okay.
4. You're right.
I have a little tidbit for you.
Okay.
It has 8 sides.
What?
Yeah, the middles kind of jut out a little bit. It's 8-sided.
You've been sneaking around doing research.
No, this was something I just remembered that. I just
so
remembered that now.
My segment.
But I saw it about a month or two ago.
He's been waiting to drop that one ever since you saw me start taking notes.
It just kicked in my mind, but I'm telling you.
So you're saying that there's like a very slight, 189.2 whatever angle in the middle of a couple of the walls.
Here we go. Yes. The Google, despite what you think about this ancient structure, the Great Pyramid is an 8-sided figure, not a 4-sided figure.
Wow. Look at this.
Yeah.
What does that mean, Luke?
It actually indents a little bit.
Oh, really?
So all the sides that look, straight, it's a slight inward.
So here's the thing. It was covered with a light limestone, that nice, really kind of beautiful color.
Gorgeous.
Well, they've shown like old renderings of it, of what they thought it looked like, because people stole the outside layer for other buildings and temples throughout the history and throughout time. And then the lower layer of like yellow limestone wasn't as valuable. So it all just stayed. So maybe they fixed that when they covered up the outside of it, or that was intentional for some sort of structural design. And then when everybody stole the outside of it, those little indents were revealed. But that's interesting. That is interesting. So anyway, Pharaoh Khufu, this guy Murr, was an advisor to Khufu's half-brother, who's in charge of overseeing everything. And so this guy Murr wrote a lot about what was going on. And this was like the oldest. These were like 4,000 years old, apparently, these pieces of paper, which is insane. But it's like the oldest record that they have of Egypt at that time. And he kind of wrote about how they were moving everything around. So we actually have a real live account of different things, and that people were commissioned to kind of build the pyramids. So I'm going to just dispel a couple myths here really quick, just with some cold hard facts.
Hit me with it.
First, and this is one that I'm dispelling for myself, but the slaves angle, right?
Okay.
I was a big fan of Prince of Egypt growing up, just like as a movie, and the music is great and all that. But you're
saying those slaves never existed?
I'm saying that slaves existed in Egypt, but they probably didn't build the pyramids. And there's a couple of reasons.
Good for nothing.
They're good for nothing. There's probably a couple of reasons why. The first one is a logical reason, that you wouldn't have a bunch of uneducated slaves who didn't really like you building your most prized accomplishment as a nation.
So now you're saying slaves are uneducated.
Most likely back then, yes. If they were born into slavery, yeah. And so really what this is an example of like when they would build cathedrals in Europe, where all these skilled craftspeople would come and build a city around the work project and build a giant, beautiful cathedral, which is a work of art in itself.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, just thousands of years earlier in Egypt. And that's one of the things people have started to hint about, that all these myths of the Egyptians not being able to accomplish this on themselves is sometimes looked at as like a white imprinting of like Anglo-Saxon cultures being like, they couldn't have done that. Like, they're primitive. Or
jealous.
Yeah, probably. The other thing is they found recently, in the last decade, 15 years, they found like workers' graves, massive villages in the area around the pyramids that had like whole towns set aside to support like working class people. So even though right now you see the pyramid come out of the desert and there's nothing around it, back then there's probably huge amounts of camps and towns and little villages kind of spread out around the building project.
How much is that sand covering up history?
Who knows? It's thousands of years of windswept dunes.
What if there's just like hundreds of feet of sand that reveal that the pyramids are even bigger that they are?
I'm sure somebody has shot some sonar down there and tried to figure that out.
Just the tip right now.
It's just
and yeah, just down below, there's just so much like unearthed ancient civilization.
That is a conspiracy that I would get into, that I would believe.
That's pyramidology. I go to the meetings.
I'm a member. So it's interesting you point that out, because let's see. There's some records of wages in the form of salaries for these guys too. I wanted to point that out, that these people were actually like paid a living wage to work on this pyramid because it lasted years building it. All right. So I want to pivot over to the rocks.
Maybe Khufu was like, hey, Murr, why don't you since you're writing a few times a day, why don't you write down that we're paying these so that in 4,000 years, when they find it, they're like, oh, they were good to their people. I want to be remembered as a good king.
That's genius. And a hint for all of you out there, make sure your Google Docs look really nice and you're a really friendly person. And because someday this is where people are going to find these are going to be our papyri.
Yeah. What if in 4,000 years they find your like notes from high school or something, your doodles, and like
just penises.
Yeah. Wow, that's a really cool S that he drew.
Oh, yeah. But they're like, they must have been communicating. Maybe there's a secret underground of teenagers that were communicating. Because look, you see the S on this page over here, and then a kid born in Boston was drawing the same S over there.
This religion transcends continental drift, man. It's everywhere.
The S, 4,000 years in the future, the cult of S.
High schoolology and
High schoolology. High schoolology. The founder, the grandfather of high schoolology. Yeah, so what you just said was something interesting I also learned, that what if there's stuff deeper underneath the sand? One of the theories with the Sphinx was that it was actually just a bedrock of
Sorry. So is the person who built the Sphinx called the Sphincter?
I am the sphincter. Probably.
I make the Sphinx.
I'm the designer of the Sphinx. They call me the sphincter. Probably, man.
Make myself laugh.
Good.
That's all I need.
That was a good one. But they thought that maybe like it was all just limestone, a limestone bed, and they carved the Sphinx out of the limestone. So it was like flat, 80 feet thick of limestone, and then they like carve and just remove away all the limestone,
just chiseled,
rather than bring in blocks and shape them around. So that is a theory about building the Sphinx. But as far as actually moving all these the stones, which were about a ton a piece or 2 tons a piece, a lot of people again say that ancient society didn't have enough like ability to build this.
Yeah.
But modern tests in physics with rudimentary tools have actually shown that it is possible. The key ingredient here, though, is time.
Determination
and time. Because a lot of this was trial and error. Like they do believe that it was just a lot of just winging it. That the sphincter was just like, put that stuff over there. No, move it over there. And they just kind of lined it up and gave it their best shot. And I love that part in Aladdin where they're like flying around on the magic carpet and that dude sees him. He's just like, what? And
chiseling the nose.
Yeah, the nose off the Sphinx. That was the sphincter right there on camera in a Disney movie. There is a sphincter in a Disney movie. And
how dare you?
Yeah. They're going to cut
Not
that
you.
now. They're going to cut that. Disney Plus, you won't be able to find the original cut of Aladdin now.
It'll be called the Velocity Chaos cut.
Yeah. So there's a lot of trial and error. They were talking about this, like how precise everything was, right, on the pyramid. The grade was like within 2 centimeters of perfect, which is insane. Like the base of it.
Incredible.
And then the corners are within like 11 centimeters of perfect, 90-degree angles. But they like showed that if you just get like 2 sticks and you just like, I don't know how they actually did it, but they get 2 sticks and then you plumb it. Then you can figure out if you're level or not.
What is by plummet? You mean just shove it into the ground?
Yeah, plumbing. No, it's like if you can get a right angle.
Oh, plumb.
Yeah, plumb.
Excuse me, I'm a little slow.
Plumbing. So the sphincter was plumbing the other day. And so, yeah, that's it. So, like, you can actually figure this out with some rudimentary tools. And then, again, it's just trial and error. Like, if you just got a guy out there every single day who's just every square foot measuring.
The plumb guy.
The plumb guy. Like, and he's just every square foot measuring it.
The plumber. Yeah.
Plumber.
The plumber.
The plumber.
His cousin's with the sphincter. And So yeah, it's a lot of dedication that just spanned like years and years and years of perfection. But the other thing that a lot of people point to is like how they even moved the stones. A lot of the limestone was found locally near the places that they built the pyramids, so they were just building them on natural deposits, and then they were moved a short distance. There were interior pieces of granite in like the burial chambers, which came from a lot farther away. And this is where you really get down to the determination part of things. They had like these balls of that is like a way harder rock than anything else. And they were just a ball, and they just have people sit there just chinking away, bam, 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 bam,
Jesus.
the whole day.
I mean, what else they got to do?
They ain't got nothing important to do.
Yeah, Murrer's taking care of the writing.
Yeah,
It's a one-man job.
that's what the foreman said. If Murr could be over there writing and doing nothing that no one will ever read ever, then you can sit there and pound that rock into that other rock, and you can shut up about it.
Yeah.
So
I'll take that rock and pound in your head.
Yeah. More likely that one. But it was funny because, the guy, I was watching some guys talk about this, and you could do it. It's just like centimeters a day.
Yeah.
Imagine just the frustration of just clicking it away for just days.
Hey, that's what, water can wear away stone with enough time.
Yeah, but these guys were doing it with other stones.
Yeah.
They used, everyone's funny because you see all like the drawings of modern like hieroglyph kind of interpretations of stylized like working on the pyramids, just hundreds of guys pulling like a brick, right? But the one guy pointed out, he's like, they had animals, like they had oxen, they had
fish, crocodiles
to swim. Like they just hooked up a bunch of rope like to little fish, and then it just like scared them and
throw them into a canal. It's like toe fish.
Towfish.
It's like what's the Clydesdale in the fish world?
Their Budweiser commercials back then were just like fish, like.
Well, and that's actually where they invented caterpillars from. Those big machines that excavate.
What they invented
caterpillars?
Yeah, what'd they invent them from?
From Egyptian times.
Oh yeah,
caterpillars.
All those diesel motors they had back then.
Yeah, they helped. They used all the little caterpillars, and looking back on it, they were like, "Dang."
That would be hysterical if all this Egyptology was just bullshit, and they've opened up a cave wall, and there was just all these hieroglyphs, but in the middle was this giant like diagram of an engine. It's
like a MacBook on the tomb wall.
Yeah.
Imagine how frustrated you'd be if like Luke, Nick, and myself, we're all sitting around there like carrying some stones. Like, yeah, man, let's draw some pictures. Like this is how we were doing it today. Like, oh, Luke drew a picture of us working today. That's cool, man.
Cool.
It's actually it's some graffiti on the wall. They're like, but it shows what we're doing. Then 100,000 years later, those guys are full of shit.
Yeah.
What do they know? They weren't there.
Banksy.
That was all out of their imagination. You can see like they're interpreting it as like aliens landing. Those guys are the aliens. It's just Luke like got a little drunk and like drew the head a little more oblong.
Hey, hand me some of that berry juice. Let me get this over here.
Sir, the wall clearly states that we had oxen.
Yeah.
Somebody bumped the ladder that day. And just like there's a horn sticking out of your head after that.
The other thing, like I wonder, there's probably deep in the pyramids or somewhere, there's the whole layout. They're like, okay, whenever this was, like, okay, we're gonna hit the point. We're gonna change from from BC to AD. Then about 2007 years after that, release something called the iPhone. Okay, it's gonna be this little device, and then 2 years later, release an updated version called the iPhone whatever, and then after that, and update the next one after that, and then we'll have another company release a product called the Android.
It's like
all laid out there.
They get to the iPhone 7 and they're like, all right, then the next one is the iPhone Ankh. And they're like, no. Like, then they'll know. Then they'll be on to us. Yeah. All right, fine, iPhone 8, fine. Yeah. Just trying to spice it up. Jeez. And then and then pretty soon there'll be an update just randomly released from the interior of Egypt, somewhere around the Great Pyramid.
Yeah.
And it's just going to, awaken the cryo chambers in the bottom of the pyramid. Man.
It's just, they had this all. This is all
And then they're
planned
gonna feed on
6,000 years ago.
our collective anxiety from Instagram. These aliens just feed on anxiety.
That's all it is.
Um,
Anxiety and attention need.
yeah.
Or need for attention.
Which apparently these pharaohs really wanted because they built these giant pyramids that people are still talking about today. Which is, to me, there's no greater reason to build the pyramids than just to say, hey, I was powerful enough to make all these people do this. Check it out. And then it never disappears. Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, just to wrap it up, they build ramps around the pyramid to like carry the blocks all the way up. It was a cool idea. And then I learned this too, that if you wet sand just enough, it kind of like becomes slick because they didn't use wheels. So like they predated the wheels. Building of the pyramids predated like the earliest wheels with an axle. So they just pulled them along on flat sleds.
Oh, it wasn't like tree. I don't know what kind of tree foliage they have over there. Like, because you can put it on like rolling logs. But
there's no record. I don't think there's any record of that. I think it was just like the sleds, and they just would pour water off the front. Like there'd be a water crew.
maybe that's what they had all the slaves for. Like you said, it was very technical work, and they had the slaves come over, and they were just spitting on the sand in front of the sleds.
You're just like really hammering the slave thing. How you're like, I can't believe in the pyramids unless there were slaves involved.
They're like, hey, all right, just start lining up, spit over here.
You
and
spit
then
over here.
Go drink out of there real quick.
But my mouth is dry. Yeah, you're flogged. My big takeaway from this whole thing, and this goes back to the comment about the pharaohs building this. It's amazing enough that humans could even conceive and potentially build this. So why do we have to embellish it? Why can't we just believe in like the human spirit of dedication, diligence, and just a crap load of time? Because that's really what I get out of the pyramids. Is you want to build something long-standing, it's going to take a lot of work. It's going to be a lot of hard work, and it's going to take a lot of time. So that's it. I think we closed up pyramids.
Maybe. Did we?
We'll let you guys decide.
Maybe.
If you want to hear more about pyramids, or maybe we'll go find an Egyptologist or a pyramidologist.
Maybe, yeah, maybe we'll be watching some History Channel and be like, I did not know that, and then we'll come revisit, or it's closed, or it's a closed case.
We will promise to keep a papyrus open, a Google Papyrus open with
Papyri.
Yeah, multiple Google Sheets. We will not open one. We will open multiple Google Papyri and make sure we continue to log our notes on pyramids. If you guys have anything, be sure to shout it out on YouTube or send us an email. What is it? Velocity KS podcast at Gmail
At Gmail.
at Gmail. Send us your notes.
Or is it just mail and the G is silent?
We will be happy to discuss them ad nauseum.
Man, that was very stimulating. Kind of almost broke my brain. Speaking of broken things, if you have a doodad, a what's it, any type of thingamabob, or even a box full of trinkets that have just been waiting for repair, take them down to your local Big Guys Repair Shop. With over 500 locations across these United States and Guam, Big Guys Repair brings a small town repair shop feel to whichever place you're in, except Florida. There's no fixing that place. Big Guys Repair can fix anything. They do employ. They employ only the best and brightest at Big Guys Repair, and they will return your item working or your money back. At the checkout counter, whisper, Big VC Pod, into the friendly associate's ear for 30% off your repair price. There's no job too big for Big Guys Repair. This is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there is something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation and offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. Bingo! Bango boom. You know what we're going to do?
What?
We're going to go from Egypt, which is in Africa, and we're going to... When I picked this, I didn't realize we were also doing pyramids again, which is totally cool because it's, close the case. Or
So
did we?
Go way far.
We're going way far. You know what we're going to talk about? I'm going to learn you something here.
Okay.
Africanized bees.
Woo!
What? Are you afraid of bees? You got
No.
fears? No. DJ Edward 40 Hands.
I ain't scared of no bees.
Ain't scared of nothing. That's right. I'm scared of bees.
Really?
No.
All scared.
Very scared, boys. No, they're not. They're not bad. I mean, I guess they are bad, but so Africanized bees. You're wondering where did they come from? Why are they called Africanized bees? Well, that's what we're going to get into right now, right here on this show. So, Africanized bees. Really, I think they should be called something else, but we'll get into that. So, the East African lowland honeybee was first introduced in Brazil in 1956 in an effort to increase honey production. So,
By the way, sorry.
Yes.
This is in case I go to a party, right?
Yeah.
This is in case I go to a party.
yeah, so you can just be having your beverage and just like, actually, did you know?
Sorry, I was just like, wait, like this is in case I go to like a beekeeper's kind of party.
Yeah, apiary party.
Sorry, didn't
No, you're good.
but just want to make sure.
Interject whenever you got something.
This is our party knowledge segment, okay? I was trying to do that smoothly, but
Didn't I say?
did you
this is
not
party
say?
knowledge?
Did he do it?
Run that back. I thought I said party knowledge.
DJ, play it back.
No, we
Play it back.
we went to Africa, and I was just like, okay.
Oh, I thought I said party
I
knowledge
derailed.
somewhere.
I
in there.
derailed,
No,
it, but
no,
I
you're
just
good.
wanted everybody to know this is a segment that we just really quickly we do this so that you have party knowledge for if you're ever at a little get together and you're talking about bees, then Luke's got you down. He's got you.
That's right.
He's got you.
And you tell us whether I said it or not before this point.
I would love it. This is a conspiracy theory now. This is a
Conspiracy theory.
conspiracy theory now. We're gonna have to go back. I feel really embarrassed for interrupting
No.
your flow. I'm sorry.
No, because one, if I didn't say it and I thought I said it, then that's not like that explains a lot of stuff in my regular life. Maybe it's the bees, man. I'm going crazy. The bees. Anyhow,
1956.
1956.
Lowland honeybee.
So these
introduced-
pyramids.
Tell that bitch to be cool. Say, bitch, be cool.
All right, be cool, be cool. So Dr. Warwick E. Kerr
Yeah.
in where are we at?
Guys,
But this is a derailment.
no. This is good.
No,
This
we're
is
good.
This is good.
We're just getting sound effects over here.
I'll
That
get
was
us back
actually
on
really
track.
cool sounding.
I'll get us back on track. Ready?
Yeah.
All right. This is party knowledge. Luke's going to talk about Africanized bees, just in case you end up at an apiary's shindig.
Yeah.
We just flew down into Brazil, where the lowland honeybee was first introduced in 1956.
Where do they come from, you ask? Thank you for asking.
Perfect.
Dr. Warwick E. Kerr began
Nice.
to interbreed subspecies of the western honeybee, and he had chosen a selection of European honeybees to crossbreed with African honeybees. A.M. scutellata. I don't know how.
That's the
That's the African honeybee.
the Latin name.
Yeah, Latino name. I had the whole other name on the other computer, but I didn't
Sure.
transfer it.
That's
So,
okay.
anywho, yeah. So, in an effort, they want to improve honey production in Brazil.
Got it. Now I'm
So-
tracking.
So the there's quality and traits from European honeybees that they produce more honey, but the African bees there's I think usually more of them and stuff. So they have different traits that you crossbreed them, get more honey production in theory. But what happened? It didn't get when they did crossbreed. Yeah, there was kind of honey production increase in a way, but then there was also these defensive traits that the African bees had. Where, because in Africa, they have a lot more predators for the honeybees, so they've developed over thousands of years tactics of honeybees to survive.
Wow.
It's not that, so it's not, one of the thing is, so
It seems like a massive oversight.
it is, yeah. Definitely Warwick should have been looking a little more into this. So they were doing that in 1956, increase honey production. When they did that, 26 swarms escaped the quarantine in 1957. So this is in
2
Brazil.
years later, jailbreak.
Yeah, jailbreak. After they get all these things. So since then the hybrid they spread through South America, up the Mesoamerica into Mexico,
Got it.
up into southern America, in the southern North America.
Southern North America.
Southern North America, east of the Pacific Ocean, which is west of the Mississippi. You're not going to learn anything. I'm just going to tell you right now. You're not learning nothing right now. But this was like big thing in like the 90s. Like in Texas, they were like, oh no, killer bees are coming, Africanized bees. That's kind of how it came up, as far as the names go. Colloquially, as we know, DJ Edward 40 Hands colloquially means, in common terms, killer bee is
Killer
what they're
bee.
known. Yeah.
Perfect.
But why? The real question is, why weren't they called Brazilian killer bees? Why did God bring Africa into this?
Oh,
they were Africa, and why aren't they called European killer bees? Like African and European crossbreed. They should have just been Brazilian killer bees. I think that was a good publicity team by the bees to be like, yeah, this is Africa's fault.
But we're here now.
We're here
to stay.
So like I was saying, it's not.
Where did they get the moniker killer bee? Colloquial moniker.
So why are they dangerous, you ask?
Yes.
That's a great question.
Interpretation.
So Africanized honeybees are typically more defensive, like I was saying earlier, but they react to disturbances more fully than European honeybees. So European honeybees, like if, say, you were going by their nest and you disturb it, maybe 10% of the nest will come out and,
10%.
try to sting you.
Got it.
And you run away, like maybe you have one stuck on you, but most of them are like, okay, the threat's gone, go back to honey production.
They're busy.
They're busy bees.
Busy bees.
Now, Africanized bees, killer bees, on the other hand, they
Full force
they go
retaliation.
full out. They'll send the whole nest. So when one of them stings you, they send off a pheromone, and the other ones smell it, and then more of them come, and each sting sends off a pheromone. So they just have more and more coming because of this like defense mechanism to protect their nest.
Could you imagine this in humans? That if just somebody just like, I'm so mad, and then they just like excrement something just comes out of them, and then everyone in the freaking room is just like, let's kill something.
Nick just grabbed his pants. I'm gonna fight that guy too.
I believe those are called fraternities. I think those happen like that. So it's not that Africanized honeybees are more dangerous solely, because actually it's
in the group.
It's studied that they're less potent individually, like as far as like venom when they sting.
That's also true of fraternities, right?
Yeah, very, very less potent individually. Yeah, but so it says like 1,000 stings can kill adult person.
That's a lot, though.
That's a lot of stings, but you think about like there's tens of thousands of bees in a nest if it's big enough.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're taking down horses and cows and stuff.
So things were actually killed by these bees.
Oh yes, over 1,000 have been killed by
1,000 what?
people.
What?
And I guess this is over the last 70 years.
Yeah, 70 years. Do they build bigger nests than regular bees? Or I mean, I guess how does that work? Because bees don't build the nests like wasps up in the paper mache nests. They build
So, yeah, it
in, like,
depends.
trees and in crevasses.
It depends on because some of them do exterior nests, and then but it is mostly they're gonna find, oh, look at this hole here. It's easier. You save a lot of resources that way.
We just go in, kill the gopher that lives in there.
Yeah.
It's ours now.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing is they're very adaptable.
Okay.
But also more acclimated to warmer climates, and they thrive in warmer climates. So that was kind of the thinking of Warwick was, it's warm here in Brazil. We're gonna get these warm substrate, and they produce more in the warm climates. And
this guy really bungled it.
He really did.
Did anybody ever go talk to him like after 1957 and was like, look, man, what did you do?
You screwed the pooch here.
You screwed the pooch. What's your comment? He probably did. He's like, yes, my creation.
I done goofed it.
Or I don't know. Offer a little bit more honey production.
A little bit more honey, yeah. So
That's
completely
stupid,
backfired.
Don't killer bees, do they box out, and are they a threat to regular bees? Like, do they take their resources? They probably take their resources.
It's more that the queen will come in, and then I think that then the queens fight, and then the queen will breed with the other workers.
So you
and
convert over into
and then
African
a lot of conversion.
beehive.
Yeah, intermingling.
Wow. That's not good because bees are the foundation of the ecosystem.
That's true. That's facts right there. You can take that one to the bank. I didn't tell you that one because I just told you could take it to the bank, but I'm not sure on that.
So is there a squad out there that's like trying to eliminate these killer bees?
So you have, people are trying to control like the population.
The bee squad.
So yeah, the B team.
all-
it didn't work in the think room or whatever.
The think tank.
The think tank.
We gotta go workshop that. Magical workshop that.
So yeah, they're trying to, just with normal honeybees or whatever, like they're trying to either overpopulate the area so that the Africanized queens can't come in and, take over and then have the breeding. So they're trying to make sure all these, pamper these nests so
Got
that
it.
they're cool. Like, you guys, you're not going to leave us, right? You're fine. And then, but some, I forgot the word, which is this would be something that would be very helpful for your party knowledge. So the resistant colony collapse, but so some of these colonies, the workers will just abandon ship at some point.
If a new queen comes in.
Just at any point because of they're trying to overload these colonies with like making sure the queens are set. So you get the colony collapse disorder, the CCD. It's a symptom of the decline. Causes a majority of worker bees to permanently leave their home, leaving the queen, the young, and a few nurse bees.
Oh, geez.
So yeah, the workers are just like, F this noise, we're out.
Wow.
And then, the queen's got to start with...
Is this a killer bee queen?
No, this is just normal bees.
Okay, so, okay.
It's like bee gentrification.
Yes.
Just
Yikes.
Yeah.
Insert new bee.
Yeah.
Nah, man, you old bees are out. Dude. We
Yeah.
need new bees.
So yeah, so the bees are, they're trying to, keep bees in check, but keeping them where they're going to stay at a level, but
Sure.
also at a level where they're not going to want to leave the nest.
Got it.
And that's a common thing. And then there's also the Varroa mite, or Varroa, Varroa mite, that kills off honeybees.
Yeah.
The thing is, Africanized honeybees, they're more resistant to these mites because it's found that the Africanized honeybees are they spend more time grooming, and so they're cleaning each other more, and I guess their bite kind of destroys the mites, biting the mite.
Biting the mite.
And whereas, other honeybees they're gross.
I just picture a future 50 years from now, 100 years from now, where like our agricultural system in America is threatened just because of the demise of like the American honeybee, and our only option is to like fully commit to African honeybees. And
Yeah.
just like these killer bees are now our only hope, right? But then like beekeepers just become badass like biker dudes because they're angry all the time, but we got to keep them doing the pollen stuff. So like it's necessary. And all of a sudden beekeepers stop, walking around like, well, I'm an apiary. I'm an apiary. And you're like, okay, now you got guys who are just like, all right, got to go out there. They sip their whiskey. All right. Their bee suits just don't have any sleeves.
Yeah,
they're just like
sleeves.
tattoos. I could see that happen. Or they're like industrial bee suits. They're just like ridiculous.
Do they have the thorns with the heart, and instead of mom it says queen?
Yeah, queen, killer bee, B team. That's a movie.
Yeah. So kind of here to wrap things up. So I think up here north Cleveland, it gets too cold. They don't like the cold.
Nice.
So I think anything, north of mid United States is probably safe.
Cool.
We don't have to worry about that. Here on the good side, so the bees kind of made their way to Puerto Rico in 1994. And there are no actual predators of the honeybees in Puerto Rico. So in 2012, they found out that the bees are actually becoming more docile over generations.
The African ones.
Yeah, the Africanized bees.
Oh.
Because of generations of not being attacked.
It's like
they don't have that
yeah.
mechanism
They're
anymore.
not freaked out anymore. There's
Yeah.
no anxiety.
They're
They're
just
like chilling.
island chilling, having
Yeah,
a
they're like,
cocktail.
hey, give me another Mai Tai.
You know how they smoke bees to calm them down?
Yeah.
It ain't smoke.
It's the good smoke.
It's the good smoke, man. They're just like,
Yeah,
hey,
the-
man, you want some honey, bro? Woo!
Exactly. So, maybe we just need to. With
That's
the
what's there.
legalization of the marijuana plant,
Dude,
coming
marijuana and killer bees. What could go wrong?
through. Yeah.
Then we go the opposite way. They're just lazy bees. They don't do shit. It's
just enjoying life. And then they're just talking about friendship.
So the only parties you got to talk about this in is anything south of Tennessee or in Puerto Rico. But if you're going to a party in Ohio, don't bring up the bees because they're just natural up here.
You're going to be a bumbling idiot like me.
A bumbling bumblebee.
Bumbling bumblebee. No, it's. I think it's.
I love that segment. I actually do really like bees, and I'm fascinated by it. If you ever watch just like bees like hustling around, it's mesmerizing.
They are. They're crazy.
Incredible animals. Nice.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you. Yeah, cheers.
So we are going down under to visit our friends in Australia. Man, we've been in Egypt, we've been in Africa, came over to South America, we're in North America, flying down to Australia. This is a really global episode.
We go big on 40.
Man, 40 shorty. This is one of my favorite pieces of Australian news. This is a segment called Aussie News, where we check in for a headline, make sure that we know what our friends down under are getting up to. Hunt is on for a manageable hen to carry wedding rings down the aisle. The other headline for this is, we're looking for a stunt double chicken.
I don't know how to respond to this.
Just let it happen.
So
Here we go.
Someone's having a wedding.
So this is a marriage celebrant, which isn't like a religious person anymore. They're just like the officiant.
Okay.
They call them a celebrant, right? This person has been tasked with finding a lookalike for the couple's chicken, whose name is, it's a crazy name. This couple essentially, the brother-in-law said, look, if you want to marry my sister, I need a dowry. He was saying it as a joke. So the groom went out and got a chicken named Lobola.
Okay.
And gave it to the brother-in-law. And they want Lobola to carry the bands down the aisle as a ring bearer. The problem is
not a ring bear, ring chicken.
Ring chick. The problem is, in the words of the celebrant, the bird is batshit crazy. So they can't catch her, they can't touch her, they can't clean her, and she screams whenever she doesn't need to. So they're looking for an exact replica chicken with a much more docile demeanor to walk the rings down the aisle for the celebration.
It's Africanized chicken. Killer chicken. It's going crazy.
Killer chicken. Where'd you buy this chicken from? Well, we crossbred it with a South African chicken.
He's actually from Brazil.
And a Brazilian rooster. But turns out the Brazilian rooster was a cockfighter, so now we're in trouble. So Lobola ain't cutting it. They're looking for somebody. They're looking for another chick to get in there and cover for Lobola. Well, she goes and takes a Zanny.
Yeah. Wait, does it have to be identical? I feel like they're all kind of identical.
This chicken, it apparently has, it's one of those furry chickens. So you have to she looks like a spaz, like a complete spaz. They're looking for like a nice groomed chicken.
Yeah, she has some crazy eyes.
So
I guess all chickens got crazy eyes.
They got dead eyes.
Beady eyes.
Yeah. So, the Australians like to do their weddings right. They like to do them true. They like to involve the whole family, even if it's the crazy chicken Lobola. Got to give them credit. I hope this celebrant doesn't have it too hard. This was posted last week, so I'm sure they only have a little bit of time to find a nice suitable stunt chicken. So, stunt double chicken. So yeah, man, that's our update from Down Under. Wild weddings, crazy times.
I mean, that chicken's got it going on though. You just gotta, because in life, you just have to. You gotta be your own chicken out there in the world. If someone's chasing you, gotta cluck away at them. Why not? Scream your head off. You don't know what that person's intentions are, because maybe they're just trying to be friends, and you don't want friends right now. But friends are the basis of life and evolution as people, because you think that you're gonna be able to do all this by yourself. Maybe you can, but I don't think it makes it a whole lot easier when you have people that are in the friendship business out there with you and for you. So because you're not going to build the pyramid by yourself. Let's just cut right to that one. I'm not going to beat around the bush or the sand. You're gonna get your fish. You're gonna get your camels. You're gonna get your friends, and you're gonna get Myrrh to write it all down at the end of the day, just so you can tell people we did this together as friends. We built it up, and it didn't matter if we didn't have enough honey. And Brazil can go fuck off, just straight off. Really? Blame this all on us? We have pyramids, okay? And that's the bottom line. So you go be your chicken. Boop, 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 boom. Coming in, pulling in. Skirt, skirt. The recommendation station. Again, I didn't know Nick's story was about a chicken. Just before this one.
It's all syncing up.
It is.
The show is just getting synced.
The cosmos of the pyramids.
The cosmos of the pyramids is helping the Velocity Cast podcast. Our pyramid of friendship.
That's right.
Brick by brick.
So my recommendation, Supersize Me 2, Holy Chicken. Morgan Spurlock at it again, but this time he buys his own farm. I guess, I don't know, his own range, buys his own chickens, gets them hatched, buys a restaurant location, and opens up his own restaurant with quote-unquote healthy chicken.
Yeah.
And boy, is it eye-opening.
Really?
Yes, I was very intrigued by the whole thing. So yeah, he shows. I don't want to spoil it. I want you to watch it. It's on YouTube for
You're
free.
recommending it.
I'm
Got it.
recommending it. But yeah, just the stuff that these chickens like go through. They put on like so much weight so quickly.
Yeah.
That they're dying because of heart attacks and stuff, or their hips are breaking, or like and the labels that these companies can put on their food that really don't mean anything. That's the basis of it, is what all these chicken companies can put on their food is absurd when it comes down to what the actual definitions of, free range, antibiotic free, all these things. Like, it's bullshit. So watch it, learn a little bit more. Yeah.
A couple must have got Lobola from that farm.
Yeah. Mad chicken.
Jailbreak. Just got out of there. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for letting us know. You said it's on YouTube for free.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find it other places.
Oh, we'll put the link up there.
We'll put it up there, but for free. For free!
With ads.
Well, everybody, it's the closing of the 40th episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast. We are so stoked to be hitting this threshold. We're on our way to 50, and we're looking forward to having you along for the ride. I want to thank our trusty DJ Edward 40 Hands for helping us out.
Thanks for having me out today this week, guys.
Thanks very much. Thanks for not getting too drunk on your way in. And we appreciate you. We also appreciate all of you out there listening. Keep following, keep investing, keep, love, investment, friendship, entertainment. We got that all on the Velocity Chaos podcast. We want to give you some, and we want to get some from you. So be sure to comment, like, interact. Other than that, I'll see you on the next one. This is Nick signing off.
And this is Luke signing off. Thank you guys for hanging out with us here. We really appreciate it. And like we always say, get your friends together and build your pyramids. We're out. Thank you for tuning in to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We upload new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Interact with us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod or on Facebook and YouTube at Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are grateful for your time and hope you enjoyed it here. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.